7.5 years ago, I lost my husband to brain cancer. Things that we had planned to do for the rest of our lives changed in a moment. We didn't expect him to die because we thought God would heal him this side of eternity. And that didn't happen. That was a surprise. But God was so faithful during all that time. I honestly felt protected. Jess was never, ever afraid. He never questioned God and asked why me? Because he just believed that God was taking care of things. In terms of my relationship with God, when Jess passed away, I can honestly say that it didn't change. Like I wasn't angry at God. I wasn't mad at him because my husband died. I felt that really his word just strengthened me so much. It wasn't that I felt abandoned. I really didn't, because God's love was just so prevalent in my life. And if anything, it just made me dig deeper into what the word had to say and to walk out what the word had to say.
I was playing bass that morning, and we were in this tiny little gym in Sycamoose, and randomly this girl came up to me afterwards, and we were just chatting for a bit, and she's like, "Oh, you have to come check out my church when you come down to Langley." And I still had another semester left of my degree at Trinity, and I was like, "Yeah, cool, sounds good." And so I texted my friend and I was like, "We're going to church tomorrow." And so next morning we got ready and walked through the doors and haven't left. We've been there ever since. So
I was still in Salmon Arm. I knew that my time there was done, and I knew I was going to be moving, but I honestly thought I would be moving to Prince George. And I came down to visit Joelle, and we went for lunch, and you said, "Would you ever consider moving here?" So I went home and prayed about it, put my house up for sale in a time where nothing was selling. Found this place that I didn't know would be like 5 minutes from Relate Church. So when I moved here, I was at a store one day, and they had a great sale. And I said, "I would like to be able to afford to buy all of this, but I can't. You should hire me." And she said, "Okay." And so I went to work for her, not realizing that God had a plan in all of that. I can say it was not necessarily where I wanted to be. I didn't understand it. And the nights that we spent hour after hour when nobody came in the store, I would say, "God, why am I here?" I had no idea that what he was setting me up for was to be manager of the City Dream Center thrift store, which is called For the Love of Thrifting. It's just amazing to me how you can think you're going down one path, and God so faithfully takes you step by step by step and literally changes direction on you. And yet you're in a better place than you would have been if you would have continued to do what you thought you should have been doing. To me right now, this is where I know I'm to be. So things definitely look different now than they did. Coming to Relate, it's different coming on your own, as in coming as part of a family. It's not always easy. Does our family look different? It does. But we have friends that are probably closer to us than family. I think sometimes the temptation is when you see yourself different, sometimes it's really easy to feel like you're not good enough, not acceptable enough, because you're not like everybody else. We have a different reality. And all I know is that through it all, God has been faithful at supplying what we need. And one of my favorite verses is in Psalm 16 from the Voice translation. And it talks about, "You, Eternal One, are my sustenance, my life-giving cup. And in that cup you hold my future and my eternal rewards." And that word sustenance means it's my provision. I'm being constantly supplied with everything that I need for today, for my life. And he gives me endurance, he gives me support, and he gives me strength. And that's tied up in that one word, which I read daily. God's plans for us are so much better than what we have. Even if what we're in right now doesn't line up to what we thought it would ever be, God is always faithful. And there's so many things to thank God about. It's not about what was taken away. It's what was given.